Today on the Real Fan Review, we get you ready for the good boys coming out this week, going over all these comedies that we love. Welcome to the Real Fan Review. What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Hav here, one of your hosts of the Real Fan Review. So today we're going to be going over these comedies that you need to watch, comedies that we've loved and seen over and over again, man. And with this conversation, we got my boy Sanj here with us.
Hello, everyone. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
We got my brother B on the mic.
Hello.
And we got our man in the chair, Al, today.
What's going on, everybody?
And we got a little guest starring feature again today. We got my wife, Alex.
Hi.
She said that like she's talking to somebody on the phone. Oh, man. Well, this is going to be a good episode, man. We're talking about the comedies that came out there. And before we get into, like, these comedies, there's some news that came out this week. But even before the news thing, I just wanted to make a real quick commentary on, like, the comedies and see what you guys think about it. Because, you know, I feel like this is the first year that I feel like there hasn't been just a plain good comedy out there. I heard Booksmart's pretty funny, but I don't think any of us got a chance to see it.
I actually did see it.
Oh, what'd you think of it?
It was okay.
What did you say? It was a comedy or more of like a just...
It was a comedy trying to be like Superbad.
Right.
It was kind of trying to be the female version of Superbad, and for the most part, really smart writing.
Right.
But didn't really nail comedic elements along the way.
Gotcha. You know, I just feel like with like Will Ferrell movies, you know, even what are some of the good comedians out there?
Jonah Hill,
and all
Seth
those characters,
Rogen.
Seth Rogen. I just feel like even Kevin Hart, I haven't really found movies this year in particular that have come out that made me go, oh yeah, that's the movie of the summer. And usually in the summer is always like one crazy good one, you know. And I remember like even growing up with you guys seeing like Wedding Crashers,
Yes,
you know, and even, you know, Step Brothers and stuff like that. And I just feel like we haven't had one of those lately. And I just wanted to know, like, do you guys think it's because of the way the culture is right now, which is pretty much everything is almost bad and it shouldn't be said kind of thing, this PC culture,
that political correct, yeah,
you know, and I get it, we should be a little bit more cognizant of what we're saying about other people, of course,
yeah.
But at the same time, look at what's happening with how sensitive everything's become.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why we haven't had the comedies that we normally get.
But I think that's what comedy is about. It's about saying those things that are highly inappropriate that make you laugh, right?
Right.
You know, there's a time and place. Comedies are built for that. Like we were just talking about Eddie Murphy. If his comedy was out today, it would never be allowed, but it makes people laugh because it's ridiculous. And
right.
I don't know. I think I
Sanj,
think comedy should be
what's your take on like what's going on lately with comedies?
Well, I like good comedies, and I have a long history of being inappropriate at times, which y'all know very well. But at the same time, from a cultural standpoint, for me, it's hard to draw a line either way, because I understand what you're saying on the one hand, like with the PC culture, and some things do need to change. We need to have it where, you know, a white dude is not up on the screen making fun of everybody else's culture, right? But at the same time, that shit is hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if it, to me, it's not so much what people say, it's what's behind the words that they're saying. If you're saying something just to be funny, and we know that we're going to go sit down and watch a comedy, I'm okay. You can say anything you want, right? And to me, it's more, if you don't have a malicious intent behind what you're saying, I'm okay with it.
Gotcha.
From anybody, right? But it's when we go into like if that person's really trying to tear somebody else down at, you know, or make a point at somebody else's expense.
But then that's not funny anymore, right? Like if the intent is malicious, then it stops being funny.
I got you.
But part of the PC culture is that too, that we don't. Some people, we don't know, because things in their personal life come out to show that, hey, they were up there making comedy, but this is actually how they feel about something, and they were delivering it as comedy.
I'm not sure where that line is. People are trying to make sure they're getting onto that line.
Concerned about where that line is.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon, what's your take? I mean, because you're coming from a generation that I don't know if necessarily you saw all the movies that we saw growing up, but you probably have caught up because you're a big movie person too. Like, what's your take on like how the movie culture for comedies comedies is going, because I feel like comedies right now, it's always comedy and action, like Marvel does comedy and action, or it's comedy with something else. It's not just a straight on.
I completely
comedy.
agree. I feel like that's been something studios have been trying to find. I mean, like with a recent comedy, Stuber, having kind of silly comedy by taking two actors and just having them doing ludicrous things for the sake of hoping it's funny, kind of a thing. I think that's where they're trying to go with, because they've
Basic
seen
slapstick.
Yeah,
type.
that slapstick comedy, because they're trying not to get to the line, because no one really knows where the line is. So I feel like comedies have really suffered in the last maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
Because just no one really wants to put something out there that people either aren't going to watch or people are going to go against their actors and the directors for.
Because so much of comedy, if you look at some of the comedies that we love, which we'll talk about, so much of comedy has been around making fun of racial stereotypes. Right? As opposed to just being funny for the sake of being funny. Like, let's say Step Brothers. There was nothing racial about that, but it was hilarious, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can get more comedy like that, and everyone's trying to find that formula to make stuff like that. So it'll take some time, but
Yeah, I think it's
they'll
gonna
get it
take
back
time
on.
before it gets back to where it used to be. Because, like you said, like to be honest, the last couple years, the only comedies I've seen have kind of came from Kevin Hart and his movies with Tiffany Haddish and such. But I feel like even those are losing steam because it seems like the same recycled jokes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the where the line fell for me, I kind of remember is, do you guys remember when Sony had that issue where they got broken into and hacked into, and Seth Rogen and who's the guy that's a serious actor but they always do movies together?
James Franco.
Oh my
God,
remember
so
they
funny.
made that movie about Kim Jong-un?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they never
The
got
interview.
and they never got a chance to put that movie out there. It was only on digital release because they didn't want to offend North Korea there, because they basically were putting him on blast, and he didn't want that out there. But I felt like that was the moment, like, things changed with comedy and everything.
But then there was that movie a few years back where they actually did make like serious fun of King Jong. Was it Un or Il at that point?
I think it is.
Yeah, and what was the name of that movie? It wasn't even real actors or anything like that. Anyway,
Yeah, the only one I know of that did that was The Interview, and that was nuts, man. I mean, I laughed. I thought the movie was funny as hell. But Al, what's your take on the comedy scene?
They're getting too, well, at least with some of the comedies that I've been seeing lately, they're getting too focused on their specific audience for their comedy. Like, there used to be, not to say a token person of whatever, but if it was like a black comedy, that was always like the white guy that was trying too hard or something.
Yeah, everybody fell into these little tropes.
Yeah, there was
kinda
always
thing,
these same type of structured comedies, and I feel like they've even more so gone into a niche where from the movie and who's in it almost what audience
Who they're trying to
targeting.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, man. Because
So-
there's times where you see Danny McBride and you're like, okay, he's playing Danny McBride.
Yeah.
And what was that guy who did that movie with Jennifer Aniston?
Oh, Vince Vaughn.
Doesn't Vince Vaughn play Vince Vaughn in every movie?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
he does.
You know what
That's why
movie
he's
you
not in
just thought
movies
about
anymore.
that wasn't funny was The Breakup.
Oh yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
The beginning was like haha, and then the end was like wait
got
a
pretty
sec- it
serious
got
there.
serious.
Well, like, I was like, wait,
this is,
they
I felt
broke
like I
up.
was- Yeah, like I was like intruding on someone's breakup. I was like uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like
it was-
that
it
wasn't
was
funny
rough,
anymore.
man.
Yeah.
What were you saying now?
No, it's just and I just feel like they've gone, instead of doing that and then getting back away and doing comedies that bring everybody together, like even to what you guys were saying, even if you're going to make fun, like back in the day you had All in the Family, like one of the most outright racist characters, but they did it in a humorous sort of way that not only played to a certain audience, but it also made fun of that guy at the same time.
Right.
Not only were you laughing at what he said, but you were also laughing at him because the show was saying, all right, there's people like this, but
But this is ridiculous.
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
laugh at it.
This is how silly someone like this is.
Yeah,
Let's
like if,
laugh at, you know.
because like if you watch watch Archie Bunker and George Jefferson together, they're hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like George Jefferson is so stereotypically what he is, and Archie Bunker's clearly racist,
Right.
Right? But it's hilarious when you watch it. I mean,
But that's why that's why what you were saying before about stereotypes, that's why it's funny.
Yeah.
Right? Because we can all intelligent people can say that's a stereotype,
Yeah, that's not
funny,
real.
that's not real.
Yeah.
It's when you believe in that and if you're not laughing, we're like,
What's wrong with you?
Right, what's wrong with you?
So
like, it's
I think
funny.
was that Roseanne, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's a reflection more of the times too. Is the fact that there's two. You're either on one side or the other. Nobody's trying to see the other one
side,
anymore.
yeah. Like to me, it really made me think when an Indian American person complained about the Apu character on The Simpsons, and they actually ended up retiring the Apu character. And for me, I thought it was completely ridiculous. Right? For those of you who don't know, I'm an Indian American, right? Among other things. But for me, I thought it was a completely ridiculous complaint to have about The Simpsons because every single character on The Simpsons is a caricature in a satirical form of what they are.
Right.
Like
Right.
Homer Simpson is designed to be like the American man, right?
Right.
Typically the white American man. Like somehow he gets ahead, but he's a blubbering oaf, right? But he's at times like insufferable, but at times like warm and cuddly at the same time. So like every cat, like, and then you go to like Chief Wiggum, who is our stereotypical cop, like donut
Right.
eating, fat around the waist. That's not what all cops are, but like the way that society makes fun of like cops
Exactly.
and whatnot, or the Marge, who's like who's brilliant, but then she's like a housewife, right?
Gotcha.
Not that there's anything wrong with being a housewife, but
But I think
every
that's what it is. It makes
single
fun of
and
those
then
things.
like the teachers, like you see the principal and the teachers, they're all like buffoons, but
Right.
they're educators at the same time, right?
Right. It's a joke on itself.
It's a
Right.
joke.
And so every character is a satirical caricature of what they represent, and that I think it's just supposed to be a satire on American culture in general.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought, and someone put that to the person who complained. Someone put that to him. He's like, "Well, I can't complain for everybody else. I can only complain for my thing, and I'm offended by it." But I'm like, "Well, that's stupid."
Yeah.
Like I thought being offended by Apu was stupid.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the
offended
society
by
that we live in. I mean, there's a lot of times any movie comes out, there's something that people take a stand against or offended by. Now, some of it is downright, it is offensive, right? But then there's other times where you're like, kind
But
of
it's
reaching,
offensive
but
to somebody.
exactly,
You just have to get over it. It's a comedy.
yeah.
It's not a documentary. It's not, it's
Right.
a comedy.
I hear you. So yeah, man, I just wanted to see.
Not for nothing.
Go
I'm
for
sorry.
it.
Not for nothing. Like the way they portray Apu. Like remember the 7-Eleven right by our house?
our house in
Like
Greengrove.
I've seen that guy chase people out of the store, talking about in an Indian accent, "Get out of my store! Get out of my store!"
That's what makes
You
it
know what I'm
funny.
saying?
Though,
And
if you never saw that, that's what makes it funny.
But and then here's Apu on there, "Get out of my store!" And as the guy's walking out, "Thank you, come again."
It's hilarious.
But I mean, so look, you do a quick line like that, and everybody's laughing, right?
Right.
It's just funny. It's just funny. Like let it be.
And but we also don't leave here and think the approach is now every person in 7-Eleven sounds like that.
Of course.
And
They might.
but you know what I mean? But us as people, we know that. You know what I mean? It's just
I have to
it's
say,
so
I
crazy.
enjoy, and I'm Hispanic. I enjoy when people like make fun of it because sometimes they say things that like, hit something that you've experienced and it makes it funny,
What was that guy that was on Instagram that was making fun of like the Spanish culture? He was dressing up as a girl.
I don't remember.
And remember he was playing basketball and shit.
Oh my God, he's Greek.
He's like famous now.
Yes. What is his name? You have to look him up. He was like, that's it.
That's it. That's it.
That's what I'm. Oh my God. I watched that. How many times did I watch that?
And it's funny, man. But again, it's something that's
find
sad
that.
for me to see because usually in the summer I would look forward to the comedies that are coming out. The next Will Ferrell, the next Seth Rogen and the crew. Because usually it's all like 7, 8 of them all together in a movie by Judd Apatow, most likely.
Yep.
And we haven't even had anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I think about last year we had Ghostbusters that didn't do well in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
It's just sad. I really want comedies to come back, but I feel like because of where we are in society right now,
It's
it's not.
hard.
It's a little hard to do that.
Yeah.
But
Just so you know, it's
yeah.
the actor, the role that made us laugh was Mauricia Rodriguez, but it was played by Yanis. The real name of the comedian is Yanis Pappas.
Okay.
Hilarious. If you've never checked it out, oh my God. They make fun of like a New York, like Puerto Rican girl. And I'm a New York Puerto Rican girl. So I laughed, you know. I thought it was hilarious. I mean, obviously I don't sound like that, but I know people who do, or I don't know. It was hilarious. It's so funny.
Oh man. So before we get into like those comedies that we want to recommend to everybody, make sure that you have seen it or will see it sometime. We'll get into that after we just get into the quick news of the week. Pretty much just two big things that I saw on the news. I don't think my wife's gonna have too much to say about this, but Andy Serkis, the guy who plays Claw in Black Panther, is gonna be directing Venom 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now, if you guys know Andy Serkis, he's big with the mocap and the VFX. He even did his own version of The Jungle Book, right?
Yep.
Right. What
Yes,
was
he
it?
did.
It was Mowgli.
Mowgli.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Which was a very good
he was
version
also
of the
gone.
story as well.
yeah. And now, Brandon, I know you're a big fan of like Venom and everything like that. What do you think of Andy Serkis? Or what do you think he'll bring besides better VFX?
I think that's all we need.
I mean, to be honest, when Sony put out Venom, they were putting it out on a whim, the first one. So to see, him take the helm for this next one, I'm interested to see where he takes the direction, because the movies that he's been a part of, he's always had a hand in kind of creating something really special.
Yeah.
When he took and made the Gollum character, basically.
Yeah.
He can transform something. So to have him in this movie, directing it, I'm pretty sure he's gonna play some kind of a part in it as well, because he likes to do that.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's gonna transform the way the movie works, because we weren't so pumped about Venom. It was fun
a
to
cool
see. It
movie.
was cool,
Yeah.
right? I think this one's gonna be a lot better with his direction.
Because they're bringing in Carnage, right?
Yeah, and I think that's why it's a big deal to have Andy Serkis in this, because he's going to be doing Carnage and Venom at the same time. And who knows?
And how
what
do you
else is
separate
gonna
the
be in there.
movies? Because I don't know if you heard this part yet, but they released the concept art for Venom, and originally the big bad of Venom was supposed to be Carnage, and they decided to save him for Venom 2.
Right.
So now, how do you take Carnage and make a different movie when you already kind of had a symbiote big bad who pretty much acted a lot like Carnage in the last movie?
Right.
So now, how do you transform this movie to make it different?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more information about it. I'm just happy that we have Woody Harrelson playing Carnage, so that's gonna be crazy.
He's gonna be great in that role.
Al, what's your thoughts, Al?
I just I want to see how they go, how they can improve the CGI of Venom, because I thought it was a little off. Like that wasn't the look I had for Venom. It was definitely a lot better than the Venom adaptation they had from Spider-Man 3.
Topher Grace.
Yeah. It was like a more towards the comic book version of Venom, but it wasn't like what I visualized. It was too reliant on CGI.
Right.
So I like the way, like with Serkis and his way, the way they do their characters, they're more believable. Like even with Gollum, like to see like that gangly character walk almost on all fours, like it was believable.
Absolutely.
In the Lord of the Ring movies, and to see if he can bring that to Venom and Carnage and make them look like actual characters in the movie as opposed to a computer graphic, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
hopefully
Sanj,
work
what's
out.
your take on that?
I just want to see better visual effects. So I
Right.
mean, if he's gonna bring that, which he's known for, I'm with it. Totally with it.
I hear you, man. So I mean, that should be coming out. Any kind of idea when Venom 2 is supposed to be coming out? Is it next year or the year
I'm
after?
not sure. I know they just started kind of doing the casting and storyboarding for it, so
Yeah.
maybe in another year or so.
Yeah, they're projecting 2020. So
All right, it's no problem, man. And then the second bit of news there's not really big news, and this one I'm sure my wife will have a take on. It's Tyrese is back at it again. I know we've been talking about it with the last two
Tyrese.
podcasts. He set off some not text messages, some Twitter. What do they call it?
Tweets.
Some little tweets there. So I'll tell you what he said, and then I'll just get your take on it, man. He goes, "I have to show my respects for one thing. He tried.
Wow.
I know.
Folks called me a hater, attacked me for speaking out. Breaking up the family clearly doesn't have the value that one would assume it does. You know what? Maybe, just maybe, The Rock and the crew will come dance with us again for Fast 10. You guys notice he didn't even say Fast 9, right?
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
they know we're not. They're not in it. That's why we already know that they're not in it.
Crazy. And then he goes, "We can all hug it out and get back to giving the true fans who supported this franchise for 20 years what they want. No hating. I'm just pointing out the facts. Hashtag Fast Family has more value as the Fast Family.
That's just a man who's angry about his paycheck.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I honestly don't see anything wrong with that statement, though. Like there was,
I mean,
he didn't go at anybody
No,
specifically. You know,
taking shots nonetheless.
well, I'm just saying. I think he's echoing a sentiment that all the Fast fans have as well. Like we don't want to see a movie without The Rock in it.
yeah,
or,
clearly these numbers that are coming
Right,
out.
or Vin Diesel in it. Like, so
Yeah.
what is he saying? He's like, hopefully we can get this back together for Fast 10. To me,
Yeah.
that sounds like he's putting it out there to everybody to like, look, let's stop with the nonsense and get it back together
I
and
think
give
his
people.
agent kind of went at him like, listen, you gotta bring a little something there, you know, because there was a lot of hate. I mean, for all those tweets and Instagram posts against The Rock. So I think maybe someone kind of stepped in and gave him a little nudge, like we're in the same studio together.
Alex, now as a fan of these movies, what do you think of, like, I know you've heard us talk about the nonsense that's going on between The Rock, Tyrese, and even Vin Diesel sometimes. What's your take on hearing them say that this week?
I just think it's interesting that it's Tyrese. You know what I mean? Like he's good, and
The
I enjoy.
B-lister?
Right? Like I just, it's not the
Wow,
A-list.
you gave him as high as B.
I was
And
being nice.
he's hilarious,
Right.
right? So I think it would have more value if it was, you know,
Vin
Vin Diesel, right? So I'm like, yeah, like you said, it might be somebody who's a little angry,
Yeah.
and that they need that paycheck.
I'm actually really impressed that Vin has really like been on
Yeah, kept
the
it
side.
quiet.
You know,
any
he didn't say
statement,
anything.
even when the feud was hot between him and The Rock.
The Rock was the only one saying it.
Yeah, like
I
Vin
love
Diesel
that.
was taking the high road the whole time. Like I
You
like,
mentioned it. You
yeah,
said he called him Uncle.
yeah. He said, "Listen, no matter what, he's still Uncle Dwayne at my
Yeah,
house. So
exactly.
whatever
I
we
love it.
figure it out." No, and I really like that. I really like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that
man, taking
Vin
the
Diesel-
high road, man. I mean, listen, in the end,
family.
yeah, you know, it just sucks, man. It kind of feels like, you know, if you're on a team together, you want to all play like, you know, be a team, you know, be supportive of each other's stuff. But I feel like he really feels, you know, The Rock let them down on this one. But
We don't know what happened on those sets.
yeah,
You know, that was a huge situation. We didn't know what happened, and no one really talked about it. They kind of just started playing the little roles on the end of it.
Yeah.
So we don't know how or what transpired to make the Rock, you know, really upset with Vin, or you know who he doesn't really
Look,
say. but
apparently
at the end
it's
of
The
it.
Rock shows up and he's ready to work, and everybody else is not there ready to work. And from The Rock's point of view, this is not the only thing he has
Well, I was
going.
gonna
He
say
has
he's
a career,
busy,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, he has a career. Otherwise, that this is not his biggest thing. He gets a big paycheck from this, but this is still not his biggest
Right?
thing that he
Imagine
does.
like you coordinate your day
Right.
based on commitments, and you have good work ethic, and you're like, well, I plan to be at work, you know, from, let's just say, whatever, 8 hours, and then people come in late, and now you're missing out on your other commitments. That would piss anybody off.
yeah, I got you. There's a sense of professionalism, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
and then
knows?
the
Who
rest
knows?
of the actors and actresses on the Fast and Furious series, they're not really doing anything else.
play
This
their
is their
role, man.
this is their big paycheck, really. So when they show up, it's like, all right, however we're doing this is what we do.
Yeah, man. That's
You know.
exactly how it sounds.
So then, if that's just how they do things, the franchise is already 9 movies deep, right? If this is just how they do things on these movies, so is The Rock wrong for like trying to come in and like change the whole culture of it? Because that culture might contribute to the camaraderie on the set.
That's true.
And that translates to the movie. You know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
to his defense, and I think we touched on it when we were discussing the whole recap, if he didn't come to 5, would they have made it to 9 and 10?
No,
Well,
no, I say flat no, because
I
they
think
needed
they were still popular, but I think it
They
just
needed
blew
something.
up.
Yeah, they
when
needed-
The Rock
yeah.
joined in there. Yeah, it really
Because
did.
3 was Tokyo Drift.
They
And
lost a
then
lot of
4,
people.
4, they brought them all
4,
back in.
But even that was, I don't remember 4.
Yeah, me neither, man.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. I just know Letty died in that one.
Like, I remember 1.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
There we go.
I remember 1, and then Fast 5 and on.
Yeah.
I don't remember Tokyo Drift. I don't even. The
4
only
was
thing I
the
remember
4 was the one. Wasn't the 4 with the one where him and Brian are taking down the Mexican drug cartel?
No idea. The only thing I remember about 2 was Eva Mendes.
Mm.
That's it. I don't remember the plot. I don't remember anything. I just remember Eva Mendes. And
Say it again.
Fast 5.
I
So,
feel like I'm interrupting, guys.
so yeah. So Tyrese, but now here's the thing: you take Tyrese out of 5 and on,
We're okay.
Doesn't make a difference.
Well, that's
And
why
the
I
movie
find
goes
it
on.
he's the one complaining.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, his character like
I think that's
is
why
there
he's
for like
so
comic
hurt,
relief
because
because
he
they
knows
crack
it
a
too.
ton of jokes on his character. He
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
really provide anything. At least
Dude,
Luke.
how many times do we hear about his forehead?
I mean, at least Tej provides the the computer support, the
Yeah.
IT support. You know what I mean?
And he had a smaller role than he did than Tyrese did in Fast 2. So
It's insane, man. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the news. We're still waiting for some big news to come out for something. But as of this week,
So
that
wait,
was
so the
it.
consensus is we're hating back on Tyrese.
Feels like it.
It's alright, Tyrese, man. We got you. We still got love for you,
man,
brother.
Listen, in the end, I still could see Tyrese as my Black Green Lantern. He could be my Jon Stewart, man. He really can.
Yeah, he has to
Did I ever tell you guys my theory on
I think he's
Fast
too over
10?
the top. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Too old.
He won't bring. There's a seriousness at times that the Green Lantern has to have that he
Yeah.
won't bring to the
I
character.
think he could do it.
How about Common?
Baby
Maybe.
boy. What-
Comic.
Comic,
very serious.
comic play anything.
I
I'm
mean,
a big comic fan.
he's still just like a.
Comic can do
he
anything
played
he
a
wants.
big baby. Like I mean,
Yeah, but there were some serious moments in that.
there were
Yeah,
serious
well,
moments in the movie, but I think those were delivered and by the other actors, like Taraji P Henson and Snoop Dogg, as a matter of fact.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
his
sad.
performance
Oh
was
my
much
God.
better. Tyrese's performance did not make that movie for me.
Yeah.
I thought
I barely remember that one.
it's a
Oh my
movie
God,
that
me too. I feel like
Baby
I was so
boy.
young.
Yeah.
I might have it. I might have it over there.
I watched
The
it.
collection.
Yeah.
But I don't
Thanks for
remember.
aging us, Alex. Thanks for aging
Sorry.
us.
I'm not that much younger, guys.
Oh,
We're the
man.
same age, Alex.
All right, we're having a good time, man. So I mean, listen.
Can I tell you my theory on Fast 10?
Yeah, bring it.
Go for it.
All right, here's how it goes.
Family.
There's a big point of it. So we take it to Cybertron, right?
Yes! Yes! I'm with it. I am totally with it.
We take it to Cybertron. That's Fast 10 because there's nowhere else they can go, right? So they're going to Cybertron, right? And obviously Megatron shoots a laser beam that's actually going to hit somebody, right? Aimed at Optimus Prime. Dominic Toretto takes the hit. And what ends up happening is out of nowhere, you got the touch! And what ends up happening, he gets the Matrix of family.
Yes! Yes!
The Matrix of
Yes!
family becomes
They should
Toretto
hire
Prime.
you.
Toretto Prime.
They should hire Brandon.
That's how we end the series.
I'm with it.
my
I'm
God.
totally with it.
Dude, talk
Yeah.
about classic.
Dominic Toretto, you
Dude,
have
He
demonstrated.
just mentioned just about like half the podcast we did in the beginning of this when we started doing podcasts. He brought in family,
Transformers. You know what? I would totally watch that movie and be excited.
Universal,
to watch
are
that
you
movie.
listening?
No, I'm not even.
Universal?
Because I mean,
Like,
it's
you're welcome.
It's so over the top. Because look, they've done submarines and tanks. And
Oh, they're
whatever.
going out of space.
They're going.
They're
so
going
if they go
out
out
of
of space,
space.
Come on.
why not Autobots?
Right.
Autobots and Decepticons. Like
Are
marry.
you kidding me? They're going to drift a space shuttle.
I'm not
okay.
listening.
They're going to drift on the space shuttle.
Yeah, they're gonna drift. They're gonna drift.
It's a
They're gonna drift
straight
around
space
Mars. They're gonna drift around Mars.
This is awesome, man. I love this.
I mean, look, in other iterations, right? You have Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics and movies out there, right?
Yeah.
So why not? Fast
Right.
and Furious meets the Autobots. I'm with it.
Toretto Prime.
I mean, anything that keeps Rodimus Prime off the screen,
You're pissing off Eric now.
that's okay.
Oh man! So listen, we're gonna continue on with the laughs, man. Now we're gonna get into these comedies that we all want to talk about. We want to mention, so make sure that you guys out there are listening. You can all go check out these comedies because they all either mean something to us or they're just so funny that we just want to share the laughter out there. And I'll set it off with one of the movies that I can watch over and over again and laugh like it's the first time watching it. Is when my man tells his coworker, "Go fuck a goat."
What movie is that?
40-year-old virgin.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson.
He says, "Don't you tell me to go fuck a goat."
Yeah, that movie is so
No.
hilarious because he's so awkward. He's like, you can see the sexual frustration on his face. Steve Carell
hilarious.
so pulled it off.
Dude,
Yes.
that movie, if you've never seen 40-Year-Old Virgin, I'm telling you guys now, you go rent it and you just lose your shit for 2 hours. Okay?
You go fuck a goat.
And that's not even the funniest line of the movie. There's so much
But
shit
isn't
that
it funny
happens
how
in
like
it.
there's one thing that sticks to you, and like you can be by yourself and you will laugh out loud alone thinking about that one line.
Oh my god. Let's go. Al, man, give me a comedy of yours that you would want people to watch out there that you've seen, you love.
It's a movie that my wife and I can watch, I think, over and over. Bridesmaids.
I love it.
Oh.
Love it.
Love
it.
it.
Especially when she
Yes,
when
I
she
was
shit
just gonna
herself.
say, after they have the food and they refuse to say that the meat is bad, and then they go to traffic.
And she's like sitting in the middle. I shit myself. I shit myself.
And she's
I shit
very,
myself.
one, you have, what's it,
You better not have shit that dress.
on the
Hilarious.
sink. It's
Yeah.
coming out like lava. And then the other one running across the street. I'm not gonna make it.
Oh my god.
That's Maya Rudolph's character. Yeah.
Hilarious.
That we can watch that movie over and over.
Oh my god, man.
It's
Son,
just like the real.
you see, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about.
Like just like the she's sitting there in the middle of like the city, like whatever, realizing like I'm a grown woman and I am shitting myself right now in the middle of
The
the
only
street.
thing that was hiding her was the dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
Like
"What
I mean,
happens?"
the only thing that I would have added to that scene was a brown stain on the dress. Like you see it, like to me that would have just given it more. But I guess that's too gross. You know what
No.
I mean?
But her
man.
face said it all.
Yeah.
You don't even have like her face. Was, oh my god.
No, my funniest part of that movie is who's the main girl in the movie? What's her name? The main lady.
Oh,
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So
I love
she's
her.
in bed with, is it John Hamm?
I don't remember.
He's John Hamm, right? And she's in bed with him. She's like in love. She puts makeup on before he wakes up. And she's like, oh my god, I just woke up. He goes, did you put makeup? She goes, I just woke up like this, right? And then she's like trying to snuggle with him. And he's like, oh man, I just wish you would get the fuck out of here.
He's like, oh, this is awkward.
He go, oh, I just said that.
And then how he wouldn't even open the gate for her. She had to climb over the
Climb
gate
it.
I love
my
John
to
Hamm.
leave,
He's
not to get in,
great.
to
No,
leave.
remember
She
her
had to hop the
drunk
fence.
on the plane? You don't remember that? She's like, whatever, stove. You don't remember that? His name was Steve. Oh my god. She's like, I see Amish. What'd she say on the wing? She was drunk. You remember that? Oh my god, the plane.
I know you love this movie. So.
I am obsessed with that movie.
Oh man! All right, let's Sanj, give me a good horror movie. Give me a good comedy there for you.
Coming to America.
Oh, that's on my list there. Yeah,
McDonald's.
man.
That whole movie is lines.
McDowell's kid.
Yeah. I go to the university. Which one? Oh, I'm America. In the face! In the face! Yes! Yes! Fuck me too! And Mama call him Clay, I call him Clay.
My favorite in that movie. Section chocolate, everybody.
Yeah.
Section chocolate. And then the mic drop.
That's the first mic
No,
drop.
yeah, that was that boy good. Yeah, good and terrible. So many lines.
Oh,
so
my
many lines
God.
for them.
Wifey, Alex, give me a good comedy of yours that you recommend people should watch and go see.
There's just so many. It's like my favorite genre. Super bad.
Super
Yes.
bad. Oh my goodness.
Remember that when he was like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and she's like, and he's like, funny thing about my back is located on my cock.
Wait. When he goes to get the license and he shows him, he's like, McLovin. He goes, you named yourself after a McDonald's burger.
Wasn't his first name Muhammad?
No, he
No,
had
it
no
was
other
just-
name.
it
Oh,
was
that's
just
right.
McLovin.
It was McLovin.
McLovin.
Oh my god.
He goes, shut up, it's cool.
Oh my god. He's like, you look like Aladdin. Get a vest. Oh my god. And you know what's funny is because he was drawing penises and I had a student who was doing that and I was like, what is going on? And like the kid was like, it's not funny. Like when I was explaining it, I was crying laughing because he would turn everything into a penis. Remember that? Like his notebook? Like the Eiffel Tower was like a penis. Oh my god. I love that movie. It's so inappropriate. That's what it's so. And the more inappropriate it is, the funnier
Yeah,
it is.
definitely, man. Brandon, give me a good comedy of yours, Brandon.
21 Jump Street.
Yes.
I lose it
Yes.
during the track meet scene after they just take the drugs.
I don't remember that scene.
And like, so he's completely high. He just starts fucking up the whole track meet.
Oh, yeah.
And then the coach is like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh God, please stop." He's like humping the track.
So-
you know, like,
So you knew Jonah Hill was hilarious, right? Did anyone expect Channing Tatum to
No,
be that hilarious?
that's what I was
Man.
saying.
I thought it was gonna be trying too hard.
When Channing Tatum did his first arrest and he couldn't remember the Miranda rights,
Yeah.
and he was like, "You have the right. You have the right to shut the fuck up." He's not like humping him.
I think even better in 22 Jump Street when Jonah Hill's character has sex with the daughter.
Oh,
of the
that
chief.
was the
Oh, my
best.
And,
God.
then, and Channing Tatum realizes it.
Yeah.
And he's just running around the whole precinct. Yo, you wouldn't believe it. Yo, he fucked.
And then when they shot off dude's penis, and he's like he's handcuffed. And he's carrying away his penis in his mouth.
I like the fact that that whole scene didn't need to happen because they already like got him. He was done. He just needed to take the shot. And there was no reason why he needed to shoot him.
You shot my dick off.
Remember 21 Jump Street with Korean Jesus?
Oh my
I-
God.
Lost it.
We got no time for you.
Busy with Korean people pumps.
All right, so I'm gonna give y'all one, man.
Wait,
Oh wait.
Ow.
I did.
I said bridesmaids.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Bridesmaids
I'm
was
sorry.
right.
All right. Okay. All right.
What's it called? One for me that's always gonna be one of my tops is I remember seeing this movie with the team. It was a bunch of us sitting there, and there's one guy that was there that I remember, his name Brian, that we hang out with every once in a while. But he was sitting on the opposite end, and there were jokes that were happening, and him and I would just like turn and look at each other and just lose it. Wedding Crashers was
The
so
best.
Yes.
freaking funny.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. Hilarious.
and I can't believe that the big actor now, Bradley Cooper, he's the bully in that movie.
Yes.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
Yes.
he did such a good job.
And is it Isla Fisher or
Isla Fisher. Yes.
Isla
Yeah.
Fisher that was in that movie? She played the crazy girl.
Yeah.
I'd find you.
And it's funny because I could try to think of like certain parts that are funny. I just remember the funniest part to me was when Will Ferrell showed up in the movie.
At the end with the meatloaf.
Not only the meatloaf, but the fact that he said, "Do you know where the new movement is? Funerals."
I remember like he was hogging the woman.
Yeah,
he was
the
like
woman
doing
was
like humping
crying.
her.
He was humping the air. And then he's like, he kind of weirded out. What's his name? The guy with the weird nose, man.
Owen Wilson.
Owen
Owen
Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
just like,
Oh my-
I don't think I could do this, man. This might be the step too far.
One of my favorite lines from the movie was when they crashed the Indian wedding, and their names that they took on was Sanjay Collins and Chuck Vindaloo.
That movie, though, the funniest or one of the great scenes I liked is the way Vince Vaughn would talk to because were they divorce counselors or marriage counselors?
They were like mediators, right? Like they were like helping couples.
Yeah,
Remember?
they were mediators. Yeah,
They
but
were-
they were
was it-
lawyers. They were lawyers, but
Right.
they specialize in mediating divorces.
Remember that couple where she was like, "You shut your mouth when you're talking to me." Like that line, I still use it. I'm like, "You shut your mouth when you're talking." I don't know why. Like I spit my water out like watching that. I loved it.
Oh man, just the way that they talk, and they have so many movies together that you could pick them and they play the same characters over. Even the one where they, did you guys remember the time that they worked for Google?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And he didn't know about like Google and all that stuff. He was like the internets. He's like, it's just one internet. He's like,
So funny.
I can't remember that one, man. Ow, you got another one for us?
The Hangover.
Hangover.
Oh my
That's not even on
god.
my list.
Oh my god.
Hangover was one of those like game-changing movies. Like
Yes.
it changed like the
That
face
was
of
an
comedy,
intro
like
to
how they
Zach
did. Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe you let me forget
I
about
can't
that.
Because yeah, he said, "Is this a real Caesar's Palace?" Like that. Remember that?
He's
Giraffe.
all right. At the risk of like piecing people up, he's a retard.
Oh my god.
And then the Ken Jeong micro penis.
When
When he
hopped out
jumped out the trunk,
The wolf pack is where that started, right?
Yeah. His
Dude.
man purse.
Yeah.
it's so.
You're right. That's where he became. He like
Yeah.
blew up.
Galifianakis,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He is like one of my favorite.
Yeah, man, that movie was hilarious, man. But you know what? Part 2 and 3 didn't do
No,
it for
they
me.
did
But
not.
that first one is classic. Even the
Yeah.
wait, how about when the movie ends, the credits, is the scenes of everything that they said happened when they were drunk that they didn't realize happened because of the camera.
Yeah.
How awesome was that?
Yes.
Seeing the pictures?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I cannot believe we forgot that. That was one of the best.
Yeah, man. That wasn't even on my list there. Sanj, give me another one for you, man.
Friday.
Oh,
Oh.
took one. Yeah, that was Friday. Damn!
Was that Debo, right?
Yeah.
You got knocked the fuck out!
See, I got mind control over Devo. See, when Devo come around, I stay quiet, but when he leave, I be talking again.
And think about how old that movie is, and we still remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, that was classic, man.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh,
Ice
man.
Cube too. Like you would never think that like he could
He's
deliver.
funny because
Yeah.
he was on 21 Jump Street. He was hilarious. Like he was so serious, but he was
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's what was funny about. Like
love
you, yeah.
Oh my God, Alex, give me another funny one for you that you recommend people to see out there.
Let me think. You did 21. That's my favorite. Wedding Crashers. All right, so I like stupid funny. Like I love like Nacho Libre, Napoleon Dynamite. I'm almost embarrassed because I'm way too
I hate
old.
all the orphans in the whole world.
I already baptized him.
You've never been baptized, Ernesto?
Yeah. Encarnacion. Like his song. Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Everything you just said is everything that I like to do.
She's like, I like poopies. I was like, oh my God. Or I've had diarrhea since Easter's. You know, like, and I think it's because, like, you know, we're talking about like inappropriate because I hear the accent.
Yeah.
I thought the accent was hilarious.
Dude, he
I
was
love it.
such.
Nacho!
He was so horrible.
When he had on the leotard and he squeezed his ass tight.
I still do that. I'll go to a wall in front of your mom and I'll be like,
And like everyone laughed.
We
Like,
didn't
it's
we
funny.
didn't need to know that. Come on.
Like everyone
Like
laughed.
you're going a little too far right now on the pod.
I'll do the whole stretch and then I'll go up to the wall and say, hola, ma.
Yeah. Everybody laughs. That shit is hilarious.
Brandon, man, give me a good one, man.
Step Brothers.
Oh my God, we didn't say that yet. Of course.
Another one of those game-changing comedies.
Of course.
Ball sack on your drum set.
He actually did it. Wait, he's sitting on the couch and the guy goes, why are you sweating? He goes, watching Cops.
Pam.
The scene
Pam.
when the scene when both of them
Yeah.
when both of them are sleepwalking, and they're like fucking shit up.
Both in hoes,
The
though.
clown has no penis. It's so random. Why does the clown have no penis and why are you dreaming of that?
No, but
Catalina wine
seriously.
mixer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Boats and hoes is still
Yeah.
like my favorite
Dude.
part of that.
Catalina
Wine
wine mixer.
mixer.
People were saying that shit for years, man. Catalina.
It's
wait a
the
minute.
fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Wait. When they were going for the job interview,
He farted. He's like, I can taste it. I can taste it.
That movie,
Did
like,
they go in a tuxedo?
yes. Pam.
Pam.
You sound stupid, Pam.
Oh my god! Wait, what was his name from? Because he had the samurai sword, and he said, "Don't call me that. Call me."
This is a house of learned doctors.
He's like, you're a mix between Fergie and Jesus.
Oh my god, Dale!
Did we just become best friends?
I love that movie.
And when they built the bunk beds, and then the bunk beds collapsed. Why did you let us do that?
We could do so many activities.
No, wait. When they were sleeping next to each other in the dark, and they were talking shit to each other, he said, "I'm gonna fill the pillowcase of Snow and beat the shit out of you." Don't bury me. I'm alive, Dale.
I love it.
All right. I'm breaking out a sweat over here talking about these movies, man. This is hilarious, man. A movie I found absolutely stupid as all hell. Then I watched it a second time and lost my goddamn mind. Anchorman.
Oh my God.
I did not
love
like it.
Punch you in the ovary is like my favorite. I love that movie.
Wait.
When they all meet up for the fight,
Oh my.
all these random weapons. Steve Carell loses his arm. Like,
Wait, what was the perfume that guy had that smelled like tiger piss? He was putting it on. He was putting it on to get the women, and then he opened it up, and it was like, "Oh my god!"
And that was Christina Applegate, right?
She's
Yeah,
hilarious.
she was, dude, she killed
She's
it.
so good. What'd she call him? A fairy boy? Or when the dog was barking, he's like, "Come on, you know I don't speak Spanish." Come on, that is like.
It's the same dog you kicked off the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man! Oh
I
man!
can't believe you didn't find that funny the first time.
Dude, the first
No.
that and
You either?
I couldn't stand that movie.
Oh
the
my
first time I
God.
watched it.
Dude,
Immediately I
you
cried
know what it is? I
laughing.
didn't get the humor because I didn't know where it was going at first. I'm looking for a story, not realizing it's just stupidity after stupidity.
That's what I like, I think. I think that's why I love this genre, because you can just pause it and then go back and you just pick up where you left off. It's
Yeah.
just funny, nothing deep.
Yeah, you know what's
know?
funny, man? Like even just doing this podcast on the comedies, man. Like right now, I'm missing Ree. Ree is huge on these comedies.
I know.
Like
I
oh
love
my
that about
God.
him. Yes.
Yeah, you guys have the similar taste.
Yeah,
in
we
that.
do have similar sense of humor.
There's another movie I think is absolutely stupid, and even when I rewatched it, I can't laugh
Which
at it.
one?
Napoleon Dynamite.
I love it.
Oh,
Absolutely.
hilarious.
Thank you. Are you kidding
I
me?
don't get it, man.
The tater tots?
Hilarious.
God.
Yeah. Are you? Whatever I wanted to call. I love that movie.
Oh my god.
It's just stupid.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's funny, stupid. Yeah.
Pedro for president.
Remember the dance? I knew the dance. I love it. You still don't like that movie?
Yeah,
I,
I think it was
dude, last
great.
time I tried to watch it again, the only part that made me laugh was his brother.
Remember with like the lips, and he was like, "Come and get me." He's like, "My lips are really chapped."
What was it
I
about the
love
steak
early 2000s.
with his brother?
He threw a steak at his uncle or something. I don't know. It was just so funny. Like it's just random funny stuff. I
The
love
early
it.
2000s was great. And that
It
was huge
really
for Will Ferrell.
was.
That was
Yeah.
huge.
I
for
am
Will
his
Ferrell.
biggest fan.
Yeah.
Biggest fan.
Kicking
know
and
what's-
screaming, like that was
Yes.
great.
What was kicking and screaming?
When he had the
So-
soccer team with the kids because
Yes.
his son was on it, and like rule number one, give it to the Italians. The two Italian boys on the team are really good,
Yeah.
but no one would play. What's rule number one? Give it to the
Italians.
Italians.
So funny.
Oh man, San, you got another one for us?
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour, yes. Okay,
understand the
Words that come out of my mouth. Yeah.
which one of y'all kicked me?
Oh no, they're going to cut off our emeralds.
Love it.
Yeah, Rush Hour was a good one, man. That one had me laughing from the
They
beginning.
kicked
And that-
off a lot for
Chris Tucker, man,
He's hilarious.
and also
and Jackie Chan because then he went and
Yeah.
did the Shanghai Nights movies.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Al, any other ones that stand out for you?
It's a movie that I saw it, and it's usually not a genre that I will watch but not go crazy over. But this movie just A Haunted House.
Oh yes,
Marlon
yes,
Wayans,
yeah.
a parody of like Paranormal
They
Activity.
do Scary Movie and all that stuff like that.
God, when they show the video, when he goes through the video, and he shows him getting butt raped by a ghost in the middle.
True story, y'all. I got butt raped by a ghost too. I got so drunk I woke up on the other side of my bed, didn't know what happened, bro. I told Sanjay and Reed that they told me never to tell anybody.
You know what? Like, now the whole world can know this. Like it is on record now. Like,
The numbers are gonna go up for this episode.
people are gonna be searching ghost porn. Our podcast is gonna come
We got 60 hits
Oh man.
in the 1 hour alone.
Sanjay, you got another one? Oh, you just gave us one, right?
Yes, I did.
All right. Go for it, yeah.
So now this is don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Love it.
Yes.
That
Which
was
made
good.
fun of every single like hardcore hood movie.
Yeah.
And like they just took elements from it and they just made it funny. And it was ridiculously funny.
I feel sorry for your mother. What you say about my mama? That movie was hilarious, man.
What do we say to the nice man? Are you my daddy?
He said, I came here to see my son. Hi, son. Bye. Oh man, let's see. Now I got a good one, man. That it had me rolling, but it was like it was more to a story than it was comedy. You know what I mean? It's Liar Liar with what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name right
Jim
now.
Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Jim
I don't know
Carrey.
why I don't find him funny.
Dude, Liar Liar was
I didn't enjoy-
amazing. I loved Liar Liar. That
You
was
know
one
what
of
was
my...
funny? Borat.
Oh my God, yes.
didn't like-
Very nice.
She is hard.
Dude, did he
That was
kid...
Pamela Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Dude, you know he really kidnapped her? And
Well, she
Pamela
knew.
Anderson?
No,
She knew, but
was
Tommy
in
Lee
on it.
didn't.
She was in on it.
She-
No, it was Kid Rock. that
Kid
she was
Rock.
married to at the time.
And that's why they got divorced.
Yeah.
Was because of that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
oh
He was
my,
pissed off about that scene. She was in on it. Like, so
Okay.
it was staged and everything.
the fans didn't know.
No, the fans didn't know.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So that's why it was a little crazy.
Oh my God, old
Her
school.
vagine.
Oh my God,
Right?
old school, yes. You're my boy, Blue.
Another Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah, man. You know what's funny? We're not really mentioning a lot of the Seth Rogen movies and the those guys. Jesus, Ant-Man. I can't even think of his comedies anymore. Paul Rudd, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Paul Rudd is not an action hero, guys.
Yeah.
What movie?
You know what it is? Like the movies, like so. Will Ferrell has been like they're like 1 and 1A.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? But like his movies have just outshined so much more, like that they kind of forget like the Seth
Yeah,
Rogen
the other
movies.
ones, right?
But
Yeah.
his movies have been hilarious too. Like I like Seth Rogen; he's hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Now, also one of the movies that came out was it last year, or the year before? But I completely lost my mind over it. Was Girls Trip.
That was my next one. That if you came
Oh
around again, yeah.
my God, dude.
You know the grapefruit?
The grapefruit trick. Wait, where she's like, I have to pee. No, don't worry about it. I have to pee. And she gets stuck on the what do they call when they
The
go
High Line.
the High Line,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And she got stuck in the middle.
The zip line.
Zip
line.
Yeah.
And she just
You have to do what you have to do.
But didn't she like pee on the dude?
oh, dude, she
She
peed
peed
on
on
the
everybody.
crowd.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The whole New
Yeah.
Orleans crowd. But no, definitely the grapefruit trick. This is hilarious. See, he could do what? Crazy.
How about
man.
Kevin Hart movies?
You know what, man? I like his comedy specials more than his actual movies, but I'm trying to think of a good one that he did the movie wise.
Soul Plane.
Soul Plane was funny.
I
That
thought
was
the
a long
last
time
one
ago.
was,
That was
funny.
wild. Which
What is it?
Night School.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, you know what? I think sounds like the two
I
Night
liked
School.
it too.
Yeah, sounds. Oh, Brandon did too.
Night School. That was good. That was
I
funny.
thought it was funny.
Yeah, no, Night School was funny.
And how about like
I kept trying to get at her, but she's like, listen, you realize I'm a lesbian, right? Like,
Yeah.
She's like, no, but that's sexual tension.
You know, I always keeps it 100.
Oh my God. It's like you're doing Black Boys. He goes, what are you talking about?
What? No, I'm not.
Or remember the chicken place? It smelled like, what did he say? It smells like
Somebody walks out because the strip club
It's
was
right
next door.
next-
He's like, smells like cocoa butter and fried chicken.
He goes, that's a happy place.
Because this is the best thing. When I walk outside, I smell cocoa butter and fried chicken. It's great.
Oh man,
How about Kings of Comedy?
dude, you know what? Let's go into that, man. Some of these comedians out there that do these shows.
Bernie Mac.
The
Kings
best.
of Comedy
Come
is
on.
classic. Kings of
I
Comedy.
still remember
It
laughing.
doesn't do it for me as much.
Are you kidding me when he was like, I'm not calling another grown man delicious? Right? Oh my God.
That put Bernie, not Bernie, what's his name?
I
The
think
last
he's
one.
Bernie Mac.
No, the last one. Bernie
D.L.
Mac.
Hughley.
Yeah.
No, DL was
No,
the
Bernie
second.
Mac
Bernie
was the
Mac,
last
yeah.
one.
After that, he got the
Bernie
TV
Mac,
show.
He got the show. That's
He
what blew
started
him
showing
up.
up in
But
movies, yeah.
and the show was based on that
Yeah.
performance.
I'm
And
milking
mind you, he
cookies.
was big
Yo,
before
when he
that.
was like, I will fuck a kid up.
Yeah. He's like,
I
I
ain't
want some
scared
milk
of
and
you
cookies.
I will fuck a kid up. And it's his voice too, like
Yes.
Yeah, because it's like a kind of shaky voice,
Yeah.
but and his eyes, the way he looked at the
Yes.
crowd, man, so freaking hilarious.
And it's
man.
funny because I only remember him and Cedric the Entertainer. I don't remember.
The other two were
No,
weakest.
D.L. Hewley was also funny.
I don't
find
remember.
him
I mean, I'm
funny.
sure he was at
Yeah.
the
He
time.
hasn't been around a long
Yeah.
time.
Weak
But-
on that, bro.
I don't
Really?
remember.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah,
rewatch
his part
it.
of the stand-up was weak. His in-betweens was good.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember. That's,
You know what though? I recently saw. I think I showed you and Tiff and Shamar was the Remember the Cedric the Entertainer on Netflix that
Hilarious.
came out last
We're
year?
talking about his daughter's like okay grades, and like she wanted a car, and he was like, "What am I gonna put on the bumper sticker? She aight? She's trying." Oh my god.
Wait, when he was talking about music now?
Oh my god. Yeah. What
He
did he
goes,
say?
"This guy's got good rhythm. Everything's going great." And he's like, "Oh man, what was the song, man?
Oh no.
The DM song,
Ah.
something in your DMs.
Slide into your DM.
No.
It was something about the DM. Oh, he goes,
Snapchat
me that pussy." He's like, "Whoa, wait,
Too far.
Oh man, but I know you guys were mentioning before that you guys like son Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah, Eddie Murphy Raw. That's to me that and
It's
Delirious.
Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy
So
Delirious,
Raw and
that, like,
Delirious.
if there was only one comedy left
Yeah.
in the world, in the universe,
Really?
Eddie Murphy Delirious.
Yeah, and now people, I know you guys are
Comedy
thinking this is
stand-up,
stand up, but to be honest with you, I think some of these were out in theaters.
Yes.
Kings
Yeah.
of Comedy
Oh,
was
yeah.
in
Kings
theaters.
of Comedy
Raw was in
was.
theaters
Raw was
also.
definitely in theaters.
Yeah, and even Kevin Hart has been doing that lately. He did the last one.
Chris Tucker did that. No, not Chris Tucker. Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
He was
Yeah.
out in like the one that he had in theaters. I can't remember. Bigger and Blacker. Was it Bigger and Blacker? I think that was the one. I saw him at Madison Square Garden. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact.
Kevin Hart had What Now was it last year that came out that was pretty funny
Yeah.
too. But you know these movies are great. They're
Kevin
funny,
Hart is
good
funny.
time, man. Oh man, let's see, Brandon, you got any other movies out there that stand out to you?
Talladega Nights.
Yes.
The
Ballad of
Ballad of
Ricky
Ricky
Bobby.
Bobby.
Shake and bake.
Ricky Bobby.
Baby Jesus.
Give him the shake a bake.
Like thank Jesus for my hot wife.
Another Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, well, I got you another Will Ferrell movie, Blades of Glory.
Oh, that was the best thing.
The hair.
Planet that came out. I watched that movie repeatedly.
You know what I watched that no one even knew existed was Benchwarmers. Do you remember that
Transformers
movie?
was great.
Thank you.
And that was with the guy from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes. It was
Oh,
hilarious.
really?
No
I-
one knows that movie.
I don't really
Oh
remember
my
that one.
god.
What about Basketball? Do you guys remember Basketball?
Yeah.
Was that the
Vince
guys? Those were the guys from
Yes.
South Park too, right?
Vaughn? Yes.
Yeah, man, I remember
If you
it.
could
kinda-
dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. No,
That's
sorry,
dodgeball.
That's dodgeball.
Big
That's
I was like, wait a
No, I'm
minute.
sorry. I meant dodgeball.
Yeah,
totally meant
no.
dodgeball.
Well, you know what?
Nobody
Ben-
makes me bleed my own blood.
Ben Stiller also does a lot of comedies, but his comedies are not
They're in the
as.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Meet the Fockers and all
Yeah,
that.
those
Oh
were
my
That
God,
was
Meet the
funny.
Fockers
That
is
was funny.
hilarious.
Oh wait, what was that movie?
The Circle of Trust.
With him, and he played like a
Jay
model.
Fokker.
Oh man,
Zoolander.
Zoolander.
I
Zoolander.
can't
Yes.
stand Zoolander.
Are you kidding me? The gasoline station
Oh,
when
so
they
good.
all
the
blow up.
School, the
Oh yeah,
the
because they
miniature
put the
school.
models in
Yeah.
the
You can't
car.
fit kids into school. This is a school for ants.
Why you being all messed up to me and stuff?
You know, it's just different kinds of comedy.
Yeah, it's just like silly,
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I'll throw some out there now. So we're like naming some of these comedians out there, like Ben Stiller and stuff like that. Someone that I think is also associated with comedy, but people don't really find a lot of his stuff funny, is the guy who did Happy Gilmore, and he did
Sandler?
Adam Sandler. Yeah,
I don't know. It's
It was
not
a
my.
period time.
Yeah, it
you know?
isn't. It's not my type of
Period
comedy. It's
comedy.
funny, but I find
Yeah.
myself
I mean,
giggling
his
more
peak
than
was
like.
Waterboy.
Oh
You
my
know,
God,
like,
yes,
that was
Waterboy.
Incredibly hilarious.
You gotta give me a Waterboy, Sanj. Give me something. Give me some.
Bobby
Stop
Boucher.
making fun of me!
Bobby Boucher.
That is high quality H2O.
Water sucks. Gatorade's better.
You can do it. And didn't that guy show up in a couple other
Yeah,
movies?
all
that
his
he did?
movies.
They all show up in it.
That's his crew. Those are his
They
people.
all,
Oh
yeah,
my
it'll
God.
change between characters.
Let's see another one.
But a lot of his, I'm sorry, a
No,
lot
no,
of
go for
his, a lot of his comedies also end up being like rom-coms.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
The Wedding
probably what it
Singer,
is.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about an old one, Office Space?
Oh, yes! When they beat
That
the
was-
shit out of the copy machine, dude. So many people were like understood where they were coming
Yes.
from.
That was
Oh man, now, you know what? And it's funny because it's like if probably watch it right now, it'd be corny as hell. But when I was younger, I loved seeing Airplane, and it's like ridiculous, dumb
gotta see
comedy.
that.
I have to
God.
see it again.
Naked Gun.
Yeah,
Oh,
when they go,
yes.
Shirley, you can't be serious. Yes, I am, and don't call me
You
Shirley.
sure?
Isn't it funny how comedy has changed? Because if that was out now,
No,
right?
forget it. It was just
It would bomb.
yeah. But I always remember watching that when I was young and thinking it was like the most funniest thing in the
'Cause they
world.
would say things like, "Oh, it's going down like a virgin on prom night" or something like that.
How about Knocked Up?
Oh my god,
That's
loved.
Rogan.
Yeah,
Knocked Up
I'm like
was
his
another
biggest
Paul
one.
fan.
Rudd.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Now I'm gonna give you guys one last one to just to end the podcast up for tonight, man. And I think as soon as I say this name, you guys are all gonna remember it because I saw this actually when we were in Florida. You had fell asleep and I was just up. Typical.
I know. I was gonna say sounds like all the time.
So I was watching a movie and I couldn't stop watching it. Something About Mary.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
It was pretty funny.
It was like a
man.
different kind of comedy.
So Nina's uncle was actually in that movie.
Really?
That's right. I remember. Yeah.
Wow.
He was the fireman. So when he got his penis stuck in his zipper, the fireman that came up the ladder to the window, that was Nina's uncle.
Porky Beans.
Lenny Clark. His name's Lenny Clark. Shout out to Uncle Lenny. Hey,
There you
Uncle.
go.
wow.
There you
On the
go.
podcast, we you know.
Absolutely, man. So, guys, I mean, like I said, even though there's like a die down of comedies out there in as far as being released, you just heard us lose our mind for about a good half hour now talking about all these comedies. Just the name of the comedy alone had us losing it, and then we went into some of the things, some of the scenes that made us laugh and made us appreciate these comedies, man. And to anyone out there that's listening that produces or is part of these movie chains that put these things out there, give us some more.
Yeah,
You
keep
know?
it coming.
Yeah.
Give us
Like,
some more.
You need
Dial down the
laughter.
conceit.
Yeah.
Look, we can handle it.
Yes,
Yeah.
you need to
And
laugh.
Say, we're all people of color. We're okay with it.
Seriously.
Bring it, Sanj.
You gotta
says.
laugh. You gotta laugh. Life is serious enough. And we always talk. I appreciate those great films, but I feel like life sometimes is enough. You know, you
Yeah.
need to laugh.
Yeah, there's so much drama in the day. You just
Right,
wanna
the news
just-
gives you enough.
And when you like catch a good comedy and stuff and you just laugh for like hours and it takes so much.
Yes.
Like when the movie's over, like you feel
Lighter.
so de-stressed and so lighter and like
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And it's nothing but great memories, man. Like I said,
my
a
favorite
lot of these
genre.
movies, I can think back to where I was, who I saw the movies with, which is most likely you guys. So it's just like, it's a good memory and just overall just good stuff, man.
Agreed.
So again, guys, this is the Real Fan Review. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. You can find us pretty much everywhere. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, Instagram. And our main source of finding us is therealfanreview.com. We also are at therealfanreview@gmail.com. Send us in any kind of questions, any kind of suggestions for topics that you want us to talk about. We're always looking forward to hearing from you, from the people who listen to us. So again, always thank you for listening. Have a good night out there, and we'll catch you next week. This is Hav signing off with Sanj, B, Al, and Alex. Have a good night.